Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here, physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. Today is day number 6. And today is the 4th manifestation of Mother Lakshmi in a form as Veera Lakshmi, who is resident here at the Sri Narayan Dham. And she is the power to win battles. She is the power to win battles, both internally as well as externally. And as the Sri Narayan Dham, we welcome our current strength of Veera Lakshmi in our current trend of Satsangs, where we are and have invited numerous political parties that is going to go into battle in our forthcoming municipal elections. I have used and am continuing to use this aspect of Mother Lakshmi, and I'm asking Mother Lakshmi to infuse herself in these politicians who have come here and who are righteous, so that we can win the battle and the scourge of corruption in this local government, and also set the spiritual revolution through to the national elections. When, Jessica? 2023. In 2023, I had to ask Durga Mata so that I could ask Lakshmi Mata to empower the elections in 2023. So we have shown that the interaction between the Sri Narayan Dham and the political situation in South Africa and around the world, but the trend that we have set by inviting politicians to the Sri Narayan Dham has yielded a positive result. And if you go to all the political speeches that was given by every political party or leader that was present here, and if you read or listen to the political speeches outside this ashram, you will see the amount of time they mention the name God in the speech. Whoever spoke, whoever gave a political discourse, that energy of Mother Lakshmi in this ashram transformed politicians. And Jessica and I know most of them because we come from the political arena ourselves. And when we saw them subsequent to the first arrival at the satsang, I don't think it will be ethical for me to name them, Jessica, but we've seen transformation, positive transformation in our politicians that were invited here. Generally, politicians come armed with ammunition to shoot other politicians. Politicians come armed to shoot and smear other political parties. However, you would have noted in this ashram that all the political discourses were most divine from their perspective. It is a sin that politics is a dirty game. Dave, have you heard that saying? But I don't think you believe, because I saw Dave and Nikhil at a political function when I was looking for people to help at the ashram, and Dave had promised me he'll be here with Nikhil on Thursday at 10 a.m. But Dave's consciousness has turned so much politically that I almost got a heart attack when I entered a political meeting. I saw Dave and Nikhil sitting there, and I had to ask them permission to enter. Okay, Dave? Yeah. But you said you heard that politics is a dirty game. Yes, if you stay out of politics, and if you listen to the smear campaigns, if you listen to the news, there is nothing positive about politics or politicians in our current state of South Africa. But we cannot take a brush and paint all the politicians with the same brush. Satish Bhai was very reluctant when I took his wife into COPE, because he was a staunch ANC. And I don't think he was happy with me at that point in time, Satish Bhai. Alright? That's how staunch he was. But I don't think he'll touch the ANC with sanitized gloves even anymore. Satish, is Guru right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So you'll notice I didn't say politics is dirty, Dev Bhai. I said people say that politics is a dirty game. And for that, I've used this ashram as a game changer. I've used this ashram as a game changer. because we don't want to play games with politics. Once you play games with politics, then you have human suffering. You have human suffering. You do not have to go far to see deplorable conditions of humanity. You may be privileged, but look at the game that politics is playing in our country. Dave, we heard some of this in the main speaker, when the main speaker spoke. We heard some of these deplorable conditions that humans are living. The ANC government that is currently ruling this country, 8 provinces and many metros, have taken humans and made them inhuman so that they can remain in power. They have taken humans, they have made them inhuman so that they can remain in power. And I'm going to explain. Right round, all cities are informal settlements. Informal settlements with no infrastructure, no or very little or unhygienic infrastructure which is hazardous to the health of those that's living there. 5,000 people using 10 portable toilets, if there are toilets. 5,000 people living, trampling, sleeping, eating in water-soaked environment. Go to these settlements. Jessica, we've been through these settlements. We were appalled at the settlements in 1104, Bottle Brush, in our prime. Today that has spread around Durban, and wherever you go, there's filth. Humans are living in inhuman conditions and have become inhuman, and they have a gun pointed at their heads. They have surrendered. They have been brainwashed by the ANC government into believing that very soon they will get their own house. And if you live in a shack in Durban, you become eligible to your own house. That lie has been ingrained in the hearts and mind of every shack dweller. Every shack dweller. The shack dwellers become more than that urban suburb or ward. So a shack dweller wins the ward. Yes or no? As soon as he wins his ward, he forgets the shack and he buys a house in Umhlanga Rocks. He buys a house in Umhlanga Rocks. He buys a Range Rover and he has no capacity to provide a house. Does the municipality has capacity to provide a house? Or is it the provincial government that has some capacity and the national government that has the ultimate capacity? Jessica, who has capacity to provide houses?
Provincial and national.
Provincial and national. But the councillors are lying to these poor in order to put food into their stomachs. They are stealing from the surrounding suburbs every day. Who made them thieves? The African National Congress, who is the presiding government of the day. How does Cyril Ramaphosa take a meal? What conscience has he got to take a meal in his 7-star presidential residence by people and children that are living in filthy shacks, that are eating food that is not healthy, with worms, mosquitoes, and all types of insects mixed in their food? How can a president live and have a meal? How can councillors in these wards bring humanity to such a pitiful state? Is our president human? Are the ANC that's governing our wards, our metros, our province, are they human to put humans in that deplorable condition? By consistently in every election lying to these shack dwellers, vote for us, will change your life. There has not been a significant change in the lives of these people that live in shacks, and even those that do not live in shacks. The oppressed, the majority was oppressed by the white minority. Today, the majority is oppressed by a black majority. Yes or no? This country has enough money to provide a house for every family in South Africa in one fiscal year. This country has enough money to provide a house for every family that cannot afford a house. Did you know that? Do you know that? They collect GST, VAT. The government is collecting 15% VAT. 15% VAT. That VAT, majority of that VAT is going to the ANC and the cronies. If a road, 100 meters of road, cost 10,000 rand to tar. That road is costed at 1 million rand. At 1 million rand. Every infrastructure development in this country is increased by millions of rands. And that millions of rands from the top, Jessica, go straight to the ANC and the cronies. And this is why we are saying there is enough money. We do not belong to those African countries far off in the north where there is no money, where there's bloated stomachs, where there's children dying of poverty. Here in South Africa, we have everything. We have food, we have water, we have money, we have mineral resources, we have every single thing that is needed to live a millionaire's life. What is the population in this country? 54 million. How many families you think in that 54 million? Divide by 4. 48 divided by 4 is 12. How many? 1,000. 13 million. Divide 13 million in 500 billion.
I don't think my calculator can do that. Take out the billion to the numbers.
13 divided by 500 and put 6 zeros. 6?
So it's 26. 200. I'm sounding like Jacob's mother.
That was Satish's president. Still is president. Alright? You remember during COVID? Do you remember during COVID 500 billion was allocated?
Yes. Yes.
And that 500 billion is where?
Disappeared.
That 500 billion, if you divided it by 52 million, how much you think of 50 million? Divide 500 billion by 50 million. Scratch out all the zeros. And every South African can be a millionaire, even those that are billionaires. Like the president himself, we could have given him $1 million on his billions, and we all would have been billionaires. Do you understand? Millionaires, sorry. Do you understand how I am calculating satisfied? But the budget for this country is in the trillions. Yes or no? Yes. In the trillions. What is the cost of a 4-bedroom block house, basic? 500,000. 50 million divided by 500,000. 25 million to house all South Africans, even those that got houses in Amslanga. Can you see how reasonable, how cheap? Why is the ANC not doing it? Sorry? No, because if they do it, they won't be in government in the next elections. The only way they can be in government is to keep people uneducated and in poverty and promise them things that they won't deliver, and they have done this for the past 27 years. The day they remove and allocate houses for the shack dwellers, which I said is a drop in the ocean, is a drop in the ocean, the ANC will cease to exist. Now I'm asking you again, all those ministers, all those parliamentarians, how do they sleep at night? Earning my money and your money. My money and your money, and keeping humans in deplorable conditions so that they can exist and earn that salary. Money is mine and money is yours. To earn my money and your money, they are keeping people in deplorable conditions. And I ask Mother Lakshmi today, Veera Lakshmi, to give us that strength, to give us the strength and the power so that I can synthesize this ashram's energy and infuse it in religious leaders, in the legal circles, in businessmen, to topple this group of inhuman members of our society that's currently running this government. We ask Mother Lakshmi to guide us and give us the power to make a change. Firstly in Durban. Firstly in Durban. This ashram, the Guru will attend all righteous rallies, all righteous fights against any unrighteous political party or institution. The Guru cannot sit on the seat anymore. And surrounding me are 20,000 people tonight that is going to sleep in an unhygienic facility. I don't know how many of them have got food tonight. Just surrounding this ashram. Just surrounding this ashram. I don't know how many of them had a bath today. I don't know how many of them will have a bath this week. I don't know how many illnesses they are taking in. And there are over 1,000 children. Don't you think, Satish Bhai? In that condition, just around us here. And their political masters, in the same period that I'm having satsang, are busy brainwashing them. Vote for the ANC. We're going to change your life. Is that a reality or not a reality? The ANC has become a runaway train. The train driver is there no more. Yes or no? Is there any leader left in the ANC that can really stand up and put the party in its perspective? Yes or no? If there's no head, what is the tail going to do, which is the municipality? What is the tail going to do? Yeah. Everyone is stealing because stealing is the norm in the ANC. Good people have become bad people. And that saying is true, Jessica. If you put one rotten apple in a box, one day the whole box is going to get rotten. And that is what has happened with our current government. And I have not started this political invitations to political parties to bolster my image. I'm already politically known. You have just met one or two people for my birthday. There are thousands that you're going to meet. I'm doing this to change this municipality, this province, and this country. And you think we'll be successful?
Yes.
So politics is a dirty game when it is played. When it is played. And the ANC have shown you that. They are playing with the people's lives by lying to them year after year after year that your life is going to get better. And these shack dwellers, they need formidable black leaders like Action SA, to go into these shacks and inform them that it is them that are making themselves suffer, and it is them that are giving all this wealth to the ANC. Their wealth. If that 5,000 have to be given R1 million each, how much is that? That money that belongs to the shack dwellers is been siphoned. It's been siphoned by the current ANC government. Because the Bill of Rights, what is the declaration in the Bill of Rights? South Africa belongs to all who live in it. All the wealth in the country belongs to all who live in this country. By taking them and congregating them in places where in other countries dogs are not allowed to live in that condition. Do you know that? Dogs in first world countries are not allowed to live in the conditions that the ANC have put their vote banks into. So somebody must get up, some institution must get up, and we have to light this fire of truth. This spiritual revolution that we started here at the Sri Narayan Dham, it must become like a forest fire. And what happens to a forest fire? Unstoppable, and it consumes everything in its path. This power of Veera Lakshmi, Mother Lakshmi must show this manifestation starting in South Africa and spreading throughout the world. Jai Sri Narayan.